Thank you for the tips. Now we're up to $2 in tips tonight. And Cracker Jacks did a super chat during this race so far and says, "Happy holidays. Have you thought of doing a charity Christmas stream and donating proceeds to local food bank or homeless shelter?" Cracker Jacks, I don't know how often or how far back you've watched my content. But I've talked about charity work before, and my opinion on charity work is thus. Charity should be done privately. I spelled your name wrong. I'm going to fix that. Charity should be done privately. It should not be done publicly, because when you do charity publicly, it's for personal gain. I hate to say it. Like, you're trying to look good, right? You're trying to, I want to look good publicly. I want to look like a good guy. Oh, crap! Okay, I got scared. Okay. I got scared there. I thought I redid the whole race. For me, that's what charity is about. It's about when you do charity stuff, okay? You're doing it because you want to do a good deed. You're doing it because you want to help someone else, right? And if you're going to do charity, you shouldn't make a public thing out of it. Now, the thing is, tons of people, as well as corporations, all do charity publicly. Oh, a public drive, a public stream, a public event, you know, this and that. I don't like that. If I'm going to do charity, which, by the way, it's up to me if I do it or not, and I have done charity in the past, it's not up to you to know or care about if I do charity stuff or not, okay? Just being honest, it's my business, not anyone else's, okay? I will keep it private, and I will do it for myself, and I would probably not do it as a public event for many reasons. The first being my own personal philosophy about charity. I feel that if you're doing charity work, or you're donating money or resources or anything to a charity, it should be a personal sacrifice for you. That's number one, because you're giving of yourself to help others, right? But on top of that, you should not benefit in any way, shape, or form from doing it. So, for example, if you do charity, and the only reason you're doing it is because you get a giant tax write-off as a result, you shouldn't do it. You should be doing it as a sacrifice to yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's my personal philosophy. And you want to know the truth? It's probably because I was raised as a Roman Catholic Christian. And in Christianity, that's actually exactly what they teach, is that it's supposed to be an act of humility. It's supposed to be an act of giving of yourself. It's not supposed to be, you're doing it to get ahead. You're doing it to look good, to save face, because you get some kind of a fucking crazy benefit out of it. It's supposed to be you're doing it to help others, right? Mother Teresa dedicated her entire life to charity, right? And that's true charity. Not, I happen to be a popular streamer and I did a donation drive with my viewers and they all donated money and somehow it went to a charity. That's, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's not even charity. Just being honest. That's number one, okay? Now, outside of that, there was a time many years ago, all right, when I was actually going to do a charity event, even though it goes against my personal philosophy of what charity should be. I felt that I had enough influence, that I had enough popularity, that if I did a charity event, that maybe the benefits outweigh the fact that maybe it would make me look good. Because I didn't want to look good by doing it, but I thought, okay, maybe if I help enough people through doing it or whatever, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? So I was planning a charity event, and I'm not going to go into the full details of it. This was many years ago. I was planning a charity event where not only was I going to do an over 24-hour long stream, but at times I was going to have special other guests, people who I knew from the industry. Whether it was people who I had done stuff with before, who were going to be special guests, or other people who were streamers and stuff, were going to actually join me and help me out because I want to take a break or whatever. Obviously, someone could tag in for like a half an hour while you take a break or whatever, right? So I had stuff, I was in the planning stages. I actually had at least one guy who was signed up to do it, and someone else who I was talking with to do it. Okay. And I even had a charity picked out that I was going to donate to and everything. All this was planned and ready to go, okay? Incidentally, the same year that I was planning this was the year when somehow the toxicity against me on the internet exploded in exponential amounts of ways, okay? That same year that I was trying to plan this event, I was DDoS attacked for about 2 straight months, to the point where I finally figured out, wow, someone must have gotten my IP and I had to change my IP address completely by having someone replace my modem who worked with the cable company. It was a big ordeal because my cable company is stupid and basically doesn't have the ability to just change your IP address on the fly. It was a big ordeal. So first there was that. Then I was swatted, okay? Which I couldn't believe, but it actually happened. I was actually fucking swatted here. Then, that was also the year when there was an organized attack against me where people actually pretended to be fans and submitted a bunch of fan art for my streams, which then they proceeded to copyright strike on YouTube, which that was what actually destroyed DSP Gaming. from being a popular YouTube channel because that was the time when it got knocked out of search results and everything on YouTube. I don't want to go on about that and talk about it at length, but basically, here I am, all right? I'm planning this year is going to be a great positive year. For the first time ever, I'm gonna bite the bullet, and I'm gonna go against my own personal philosophy to try to help others. I'm gonna do a charity event, and I'm gonna do this and that. I'm planning all this stuff, and all this negative shit happens to me all within a 6-month span. And I'm thinking to myself, how the holy hell could I ever do a charity event? You know exactly what would happen. If they're willing to do all these things to break the law to try to hurt me, you know they would do absolutely everything they possibly could to make sure that event fails. Whether it be DDoSing, whether it be fucking, you know, with me and maybe even, you know, doing nasty stuff with the charity. Who knows what it would be, right? But when I saw the level of hatred that was thrown at me that year on the internet, I was like, there is no possible fucking way that I would ever have a successful charity event. And at that time, I was of the impression that maybe it was a temporary thing. I don't know if it was just a particular group of people who had a bug up their ass about me at that time or whatever. But I was like, you know, I'm just going to keep doing my thing. I'm just going to keep moving on. I'm going to keep making streams. I'm going to keep having fun with games. We'll keep it going. And over time, hopefully, things will die out. Hopefully, the hatred against me, whatever this is, like I said, vitriol or whatever it may be, will die out. And eventually, I will be able to do a charity event again. And I hate to say it, things never died down. They are just worse, right? Like, seriously. Over the years, I had to completely stop doing fan interaction events because the trolls would always infest them and ruin them. I had to stop doing so many things that I enjoyed doing because of trolling and because of really fucked up things that have happened to myself and my family and people involved with me behind the scenes that I don't even really talk about. You guys don't know. You guys literally do not know the half of the level of trolling that me and my family have gone through. Okay? And there's no point even bringing up specifically the stuff because all that does is encourage you to do it worse, you see? So I don't talk about it, but when that much shit happens to me all the time, I realize if I were to ever try to do a charity event, it would not work. It would be constantly about trolling, constantly about making it fail for just to make me be miserable or look bad, rather than the fact that I'm trying to do something for the greater good and help people. You see? So, I decided that any charity work that I'm going to do in the future will be me doing it privately behind the scenes. And basically it'll be between me and whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, it will not ever be something public. Because I don't feel like I would ever be able to successfully do anything public because of that level of fucked up stuff that's happened in my life and continues to happen to this day. Now, it's funny because, as I've told you, personally, when I do charity stuff, when I do it, which, by the way, again, no one's business what I do, how much I do, etc. Okay? But the trolls have literally gone out of their way to slander me, despite the fact that I haven't done a charity event. They have slandered me and said stuff like Phil never does charity and stuff. Why? Because here's what happened. Okay? Last year, I filed for bankruptcy. And, well, actually, it was more than a year ago, but my whole bankruptcy thing went through and ended up going public. When you have a bankruptcy procedure that goes through, a lot of your private information gets made public. And so the trolls looked at all my private information and they're like, we don't see any evidence that Phil ever claimed anything charitable on his taxes and shit, and therefore he's never done any charity ever, right? And so that's it. And then in their minds, this is now evidence that Phil has never done charity ever in his life. He's a terrible person. Everything is for him. He's greedy and blah, blah, blah. In reality, there's criteria that you can do things like a charitable write-off or things like that, all right? And one of two things, either the things that I've done just didn't qualify, or I just don't bother gathering that information and trying to get a positive benefit from it. Because like I told you guys, in the past, when I do charity, I don't do anything in it to benefit me. I'm not doing a charitable thing to get a tax write-off. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. And so if I donate or I do a charitable thing, you know, I do it to do the right thing and to do something nice. So I'm not going to look for a personal benefit or a way that I'm going to get that. Like, I've never done, I'll be honest, even though I have definitely done charity over the years that I've been a YouTuber and made money and stuff, I've never done a tax write-off for anything that I've done. I personally don't feel that that's right. That's my personal belief. You completely disagree and say, oh, well, you should just take every advantage you possibly can. As you guys know, I have some weird philosophies and things. I don't cut corners. I don't try to take shortcuts in my YouTube career and stuff like that. I've never really played the whole, abuse the thumbnail and do clickbait title and do this and that. I've always been a different animal when it comes to my content and the kind of person that I am. All right, that's just me. That's just me, okay? And if you disagree and say, I should have taken advantage and I should have done this and that, you're okay. You're fine. That's okay. If you disagree and you think that you should take those opportunities, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just going to say that's not me, all right? But the hilarious part of all of this is because of the level of fucked up stuff that happened to me that year, and I had to cancel the whole charity event that I had planned for it, okay? It was all canceled. I contacted everyone. I said, it's not worth it. You know what's going to happen. These people are just going to harass me further. They're going to harass you because you're trying to be involved in my charity event. You're going to get harassed now. So I just canceled the whole thing. And personally, I did stuff behind the scenes myself that I wanted to do for charity that year. But because I never claimed it on taxes, according to the shithead trolls, I've never done charity ever in my life. You know what? Here's the truth. I don't care what they think. I don't fucking give two shits. I do what I do. I can sleep at night knowing, who I am as a person and my philosophies and things and ways that I go about myself. And that's that. So you will never, ever, I know this is a very long-winded answer for your question, Cracker Jacks. You won't see me doing a charity event like that. Maybe one day in the future, if dramatically things improve when it comes to the level of trolling that I receive on the internet, okay? Maybe if there is a monstrous shift in attitude again towards me, and people finally would actually support something like that and not mess with it and not fuck with it and ruin it for the parties involved, then maybe I would consider it. But as you've seen, things have not gotten any better. They've just gotten worse over the years. I've had to purposely put protections in place to make sure that things don't get fucked up for me. And therefore, I would not be able to successfully do any kind of a charity event, I don't feel at all. I don't think it would ever go down properly. It would just cause more problems than anything that it would help. So therefore, why poke the hornet's nest, right? Instead, if I'm going to do charity, I'll do it myself behind the scenes, and that's that. So there is your answer, Cracker Jacks. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that is a satisfactory answer for you. I know I had to do a lot of explaining of background there for it to make sense, and there you go. So I'm going to pee quickly, and then I'm going to do a tweet. Yes, obviously I'm doing a tweet, guys. We've been streaming for over an hour and a half, and I have $2 that we've made tonight. 2. That's not good. Just so you guys know, that's really bad. Just gonna be honest here. So hopefully we can improve in the next hour. I'll be playing for about one more hour. I don't know if we'll beat it tonight,